Friendship man arrested with suspected forged currency notes. Tristan Saphan Franklin, a 26-year-old laborer from Friendship Village, East Bank Demerara, was arrested by police today after being found in possession of suspected forged Guyanese currency notes. At approximately 7:59 hours this morning, Althea Peters, a 44-year-old customer service representative and cashier at Banks DIH Limited, located at Brickdam and Cornhill Street, Stabroek, Georgetown, visited the Stabroek police outpost. She reported that a customer, identified as Tristan Saphan Franklin, had visited her workplace to purchase both alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. Peters stated that Franklin made a payment of $80,000, 80,000 Guyanese dollars, using $5,000 notes. Upon checking the notes, she observed that they appeared to be counterfeit. She subsequently handed the money over to a police officer at the Stabroek outpost, after which she identified Franklin, leading to his arrest. During a search of a black haversack that Franklin was carrying, the police discovered $180,000, 180,000 Guyanese dollars, comprised entirely of $5,000 bills, all of which are suspected to be forged. The police took possession of the suspected forged currency notes, arrested Franklin, and escorted him to Brickdam Police Station, where he was placed in custody. The suspected forged currency notes were secured in an evidence bag, marked, sealed, and submitted for analysis at the forensic laboratory. Investigations are ongoing. Businessman who was set on fire by Venezuelan woman succumbs to injuries. Inus, Guyana, Frederick Stafford Jr., 36, who was set on fire by a Venezuelan woman on March 9, 2025, at Mango Landing, Region 7, Cuyuni Mazaruni, has succumbed to his injuries. The businessman from Golden Grove, East Coast Demerara, ECD, passed away this morning at the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he had been receiving treatment since the attack. The Venezuelan woman, Veronica Rondon Alfaro, has been charged with attempted murder and remanded in custody. Police reports indicate that Alfaro and Stafford had been in a relationship for the past year while residing at Mango Landing. On the night of the incident, Alfaro reportedly left Stafford's business premises and went to a nearby shop, where she consumed alcohol. At approximately 11 p.m., she returned to Stafford's premises, which were closed at the time, and knocked on the door. When Stafford answered, he allegedly told her to go back where you came from. Once inside, Alfaro is accused of rushing into the establishment with a 1-liter bottle of gasoline, which she allegedly threw on Stafford. A scuffle ensued between the two, resulting in gasoline spilling on Alfaro as well. Moments later, Alfaro reportedly ignited a lighter, causing both herself and Stafford to suffer severe burns. Members of the public intervened and transported both individuals to the Iterengbang police station before they were airlifted to Georgetown via a Guyana Defense Force, GDF, aircraft for medical treatment. Bail reduced for alleged serial thief in multi-million-dollar theft case. Guyana Times. A 31-year-old repeat offender accused of multiple thefts and firearm-related charges secured a reduction in his bail after appearing before Senior Magistrate Fabio Azor on Monday. Initially, the court set bail at $50,000 per charge, a total sum that Travis Payne claimed his family could not afford. In response, the magistrate adjusted the bail to $25,000 per charge. However, Payne indicated that even this amount remained too high for his family to manage given his situation, as he has 10 charges pending. In light of this, Magistrate Azor further reduced the bail to a total of $150,000, allowing Payne to secure temporary freedom. Payne, who has a long history of legal troubles, faces 10 charges connected to a series of thefts committed between May 4th and October 10th. The allegations against him include the theft of several high-end iPhones, gold jewelry, and perfumes, totaling nearly $1.9 million in value. He is also accused of discharging a loaded firearm at a detective corporal with intent to cause grievous bodily harm. Payne has pleaded not guilty to the charges. He is scheduled to make his next court appearance on April 28. Notably, he was previously charged and convicted in 2019 for armed robbery, discharging a firearm, and escaping police custody. Barber granted bail after discharging loaded firearm. Kaider News. A 22-year-old barber from Albuistown, Georgetown, who was previously charged with 2 counts of discharging a loaded firearm, appeared via Zoom at the Georgetown Magistrates Court before Senior Magistrate Fabio Azor on Monday. Shaquem David was represented by attorney Stacey Goodings, who requested bail for her client. She informed the court that David had been alerted that a police officer was searching for him at his workplace regarding a shooting incident. Upon his arrival, he was made aware of the offense, swabbed for evidence, and subsequently taken into police custody for discharging a firearm. The prosecution did not object to bail as it was unprepared for the court proceedings due to the absence of the case file. Magistrate Azor granted David bail in the amount of $100,000 for each of the 2 charges. He is scheduled to return to court on May 12, 2025. David faces charges for discharging a firearm at Matthew Lane and DeAndre Linton on March 20, 2025, at Aline and Sussex Streets, Charlestown, Georgetown, to which he pleaded not guilty. The prosecution noted that David is no stranger to the law, as he has a pending robbery under arms matter before the court for which he is currently on bail. 2 remanded for robbing Chinese national. Kaider News, a laborer and a landscaper were remanded to prison on Monday after pleading not guilty to a robbery under arms charge. Joshua Krieg, a 20-year-old from Lot 57, Tibent Street, Georgetown, and 34-year-old Naven Camacho from Pigeon Island, East Coast Demerara, ECD, appeared before Senior Magistrate Fabio Azor at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. The defendants are accused of using a knife to rob Chinese national Kenming Su of $25,000 in cash and a car remote control valued at $35,000, for a total of $60,000. The incident occurred on March 26, 2025, on Robb Street, Bourda, Georgetown. The prosecution objected to bail, citing the nature and seriousness of the offense and the potential long-lasting mental impact on the victim. Both Krieg and Camacho are scheduled to return to court on April 14, 2025. Blackbush Polder man dies from fractured skull, lacerations consistent with being struck by a vehicle. Tameshwar Mangru, a 24-year-old man, died from shock and hemorrhage resulting from multiple skull fractures and brain lacerations consistent with being hit by a motor vehicle, according to a post-mortem examination. The autopsy was conducted on Tuesday by government pathologist Dr. V. Bridgemohan at Bailey's Funeral Parlor, located in Fore Village, West Coast Burbus. Following the procedure, the body was released to family members for burial. Mangru was discovered on Sunday, March 30th, around 12:15 hours, on Lesbeholden Public Road in Blackbush Polder, with severe head injuries and what appeared to be brain matter scattered across the roadway. His remains were subsequently transported to Mibikuri Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead upon arrival. Region 6 Police Commander Shivprasad Bacchus confirmed that 6 individuals are currently in custody, assisting with the ongoing investigation. Essequibo businesswoman charged with accessory after the fact pleaded not guilty, granted $300,000 bail. Sharmalini Niranjan, a 34-year-old businesswoman from Supinam, Essequibo Coast, was charged with the offense of accessory after the fact committed on public justice, which allegedly occurred between November 1, 2024 and February 28, 2025, in Supinam. She is accused of harboring 2 notorious wanted men, Kellen Fredericks and Kevin Fredericks. The charge was filed under Section 27 of the Criminal Law, Offenses, Act, Chapter 801. On Monday, March 31, 2025, the case was heard at the Charity Magistrates Court before Magistrate Miss Tamika Clark via virtual proceedings, where the charge was read to the accused. Niranjan pleaded not guilty to the charge. Bail was granted by the court in the amount of $300,000. The case is scheduled for adjournment on April 17, 2025, for disclosure of statements. Housewife charged for narcotic possession. Remanded to prison. Shamina Buddha, a 59-year-old housewife from Good Hope, Sand Road, on the Essequibo Coast, was charged today with possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking, 2.03 grams of cocaine. Buddha was arrested by police on Sunday, March 30, 2025, at her residence in Good Hope. She appeared this morning, Tuesday, April 1, 2025, at the Suddy Magistrates Court before Magistrate Tamika Clark, where the charge was presented to her. She pleaded not guilty to the charge. The prosecutor objected to bail, and the defendant was subsequently remanded to prison. The case has been adjourned to April 17, 2025, for further reporting. Melly Mel claims U.S. arrest orchestrated by Guyana government-funded lobbying firm. By news source Guyana, outspoken Guyanese activist Melissa Atwell-Holder, also known as Melly Mel, has asserted that her recent detention in the United States was orchestrated by the government of Guyana and its contracted lobbying firm. Recent registration information has revealed that the Guyana government is paying a U.S. lobbying firm a fee of $50,000 per month for its services. Atwell-Holder spent 2 weeks in custody of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) agency and appeared in court last Friday regarding an immigration matter. She was granted a bond of $7,500 and has since returned to her home in New York. In a statement on her social media account this afternoon, the activist stated there is no doubt that the government of Guyana played a role in triggering her detention in the U.S. She suggested that the personal information disclosed by political operatives within the Guyana government could only have come from someone within the U.S. bureaucracy feeding information to the lobbying firm, which was then relayed to sources within the People's Progressive Party, PPP. Shortly after her early morning arrest at her New York home, details of her situation became public through social media posts by individuals closely associated with the Guyana government. Atwell-Holder noted that no one in Guyana could have known so quickly about her detention and transfer to the IC office during the early morning hours. She also alleged that her U.S. identification numbers were leaked and shared with individuals connected to the Guyana government, later being published on social media. According to Atwell-Holder, PPP activists specifically referenced a 2-day overstay in the U.S. prior to her marriage as a loophole for their complaint to IC. She revealed that IC received over 25 complaints regarding her marriage, falsely claiming it was a business wedding, which led to her arrest at her home with her husband. The activist accused the government of Guyana of exhausting all options unsuccessfully until hiring a lobbying firm that leveraged its connections to highlight the alleged overstay issue. Atwell-Holder believes her detention undermined narratives associating her with criminal activities. During her court appearance last Friday, her attorney pointed out, and the U.S. government agreed, that she has no criminal record and is not a flight risk. The judge overseeing her case questioned the basis for her arrest and detention, noting that her marriage and the approved immigration petition from her spouse would have waived the overstay issue. Today, a defiant Melly Mel stated she will not silence her activism, claiming the PPP has only made her a more prominent figure. While detained, she received support from various U.S. and international organizations and vowed to continue exposing corruption within the Guyana government. She assured her supporters that none of her sources have been compromised and that her work as an activist is just beginning. The government of Guyana has firmly denied any involvement in Atwell-Holder's detention. As a staunch critic of the government, she has brought attention to numerous alleged acts of corruption within its ranks. Mohammeds have a right to contest elections. Qatar News, co-leader of the Working People's Alliance, WPA, Dr. David Hines stated that his party has yet to examine the possibility of forming a coalition that includes the Mohammeds. However, he made it clear that the WPA does not have the authority to dictate who may or may not join the coalition. Dr. Hines was directly asked if his party would support the leader of the Alliance for Change, AFC, Nigel Hughes, or the leader of the People's National Congress Reform, PNC/R, Aubrey Norton, should they decide to partner with the Mohammeds. He explained that there is no council within the coalition that can decide whether to admit individuals. However, the WPA has not yet explored this possibility with the Mohammeds or discussed the implications of their involvement. We have not studied that yet, and I suspect there are sensitivities regarding the Mohammeds. The fact that they have been sanctioned by the United States is a factor we must consider, and we haven't determined our position if the Mohammeds express interest. We have not received any indication that the Mohammeds are prepared to contest the election, let alone do so as members of the opposition coalition, Dr. Hines remarked. He added that if such a situation arises, the WPA will certainly need to deliberate on it within the party before making a decision on participation. Dr. Hines indicated that, to the best of his knowledge and that of the party members, There is no legal prohibition preventing the Mohammeds from contesting elections in Guyana. They have not been sanctioned by the Guyanese government, and we do not know that economic sanctions disqualify an individual or group from participating in elections. We do not want to prematurely pass judgment on the Mohammeds based on their entanglements with the United States, he explained. Dr. Hines stated that based on the party's assessment, the Mohammeds have every right, like any other individual or group in society, to participate. However, due to the controversy surrounding the sanctions imposed by the United States, we would want to discuss the pros and cons internally before making any decisions about participating in a coalition that includes them. He reiterated that while the party respects the sanctions against the businessmen, they also acknowledge the right of the Mohammeds as Guyanese to participate in Guyanese elections. We have not seen anything that legally prevents them from doing so. As it pertains to our potential participation in a grand coalition where they are involved, our party has not yet addressed that issue, and we would need to discuss it and reach a decision. Meanwhile, on Sunday, in response to allegations that the Mohammed family is aligned with the APNUAFC through Mr. Nigel Hughes, Team Mohammed issued a statement asserting, "This is nothing more than a deliberate attempt to manipulate reality." Mr. Hughes previously stated that he was sought out in a professional capacity to represent the Mohammed family on a legal matter. Yet, the government seizes this opportunity to distort the facts to promote its own agenda. Furthermore, Team Mohammed expressed concern that President Irfan Ali has chosen to amplify unverified claims instead of addressing pressing social and economic challenges. Guyana continues to face significant issues, including rising crime rates, such as armed robberies, carjackings, and gender-based violence, alongside inadequate public sector wages, limited police capacity, corruption, and a lack of access to quality healthcare and potable water in hinterland communities. These are the matters that deserve national attention, not baseless speculation, they stated. The statement emphasized, in an age where social media reveals the truth for all to see, it is clearer than ever that the PPP government feels threatened. With many Guyanese living below the poverty line and struggling to meet basic needs, it is shameful that the government resorts to spreading misinformation instead of addressing the real issues facing the people of this great nation. We have said it before, and we will say it again, we are not aligned with any political party. Time and again, we have made this clear, yet false narratives persist. The cries of our people cannot be ignored. They need assistance, someone to listen and acknowledge their struggles. Instead of addressing these concerns, the government chooses to weaponize state machinery against us. In conclusion, Team Mohammed reiterated, should Mr. A. Mohammed decide to run for office, he is compassionate, capable, confident, committed, and competent to do so without the affiliation of any political party. No traffic ranks will be stationed at speed camera locations, Traffic Chief. In News Guyana, the Guyana Police Force, GPF, is set to launch an automated speed ticketing system on Monday, April 7, 2025, as part of its efforts to combat speeding and improve road safety nationwide. To prevent confusion and ensure efficient enforcement, Traffic Chief Assistant Commissioner Mahendra Singh has announced that police officers will not be stationed at locations where speed cameras are installed. Singh explained that this measure will eliminate the risk of duplicate fines for a single speeding violation. It's a project which will target the entire country. Currently, it is operational around the Heroes Highway, the Mandela to Eccles interlink on the East Coast Public Road in the vicinity of Movietown, and possibly a bit further. It's also implemented on the Skunord 4-lane road on the west coast of Demerara. Eventually, it will expand across the entire country. Where the speed signs or speed cameras are installed, police ranks will not be deployed there to avoid any confusion, the traffic chief stated. This system is a crucial component of the Safe Road Intelligence System (SRIS) project, implemented in collaboration with the GPF and the National Data Management Authority (NDMA). The system will utilize advanced speed cameras and radar speed signs to monitor and enforce traffic laws. The new system will operate through a network of radar speed cameras that automatically detect vehicles exceeding the legal speed limit. When a violation is recorded, a ticket will be generated immediately. If the driver's contact details are registered with the Guyana Revenue Authority (GRA), they will receive a notification via SMS and email. In cases where contact details are unavailable, a physical ticket will be mailed to the vehicle owner's registered address. This fully automated process eliminates the need for manual ticketing, ensuring fair enforcement free from human error. Elaborating further, Traffic Chief Singh explained that there are two types of radar devices being used within the system. Radar speed signs, which display a driver's speed in real time, are designed as a traffic calming measure to encourage safer driving practices. Conversely, the speed cameras, part of the SRIS project, are mounted above and across roads to automatically capture speeding violations and generate tickets. There are two different technologies you will encounter on the highway. The speed radar signs serve as a traffic calming measure, displaying your speed. The speed cameras, which are linked to the Safe Road Intelligence System, are mounted above and across the road and serve to automatically capture speeding violations, Singh clarified. For example, on Covent Garden Road, these cameras are mounted above the roadway, not parallel to it. The radar signs, mounted on posts, provide an orange number based on the speed you are traveling as a traffic calming measure. The government has partnered with MMG to facilitate easier payment of fines directly through its platform. In the near future, violations will also be accessible via the GRA's Padna app, allowing drivers to check and settle their fines online. City Mayor prepared to defend waiving of interest for outstanding rates and taxes owed by city residents. By news source Guyana, Georgetown Mayor Alfred Mentor stated today that the City Council is ready to challenge Minister of Local Government Sonia Parag in court should she attempt to block the municipality from waiving interest on outstanding rates and taxes owed by property owners in the city. In an interview with News Source, the city mayor emphasized that the council has the authority to waive interest on unpaid rates and taxes as part of a policy decision aimed at increasing its revenue. If I, as mayor, along with the other councillors, have chosen to implement measures to improve our revenue, no government should intervene. I have already consulted with attorneys, and if this matter needs to go to court, it will. The minister has mentioned taking us to court, but we will be prepared, the city mayor asserted. In a letter dated March 26, Minister Parag informed the city mayor that the move to adopt a financial regulation allowing the municipality to waive interest on outstanding rates and taxes is unlawful and unauthorized. She pointed to Section 146(1) of the Municipal and District Councils Act, which grants the authority to create financial regulations solely to the Minister of Local Government. The minister mentioned that she has consulted the Office of the Attorney General and is ready to pursue the matter as far as necessary. Any attempt to apply or enforce this so-called financial regulation will result in immediate legal action, the local government minister warned. In response, the city mayor has been consulting with a team of lawyers and is prepared to defend the council's position in court. Defending the council's decision, the mayor explained that the intention is to increase revenue while encouraging city residents to pay their outstanding rates and taxes without the burden of added interest. Currently, 45% of property owners in the city are in default on their rates and taxes, and the council aims to waive a portion of the accrued interest. To enhance our cash inflows and revenue, we needed to find ways to incentivize people to pay. Given that 45% of residents are not fulfilling their obligations to the council, we decided to reach out to them, he explained. He clarified that the waiver applies specifically to the interest accrued, not the underlying rates and taxes owed. According to the mayor, each case is unique and the waiver's extent will depend on the financial challenges faced by the defaulters. The demand remains unchanged. It is based on property valuations for rating purposes. Because some have not been paying, the accumulated interest amounts to hundreds of millions of dollars. Just as banks may offer discounts to clients unable to pay their mortgages, we as a council, with the authority to do so, want to assist those facing challenges. No government should interfere with that process, the mayor stated. Since the decision was made, over 20 property owners have already visited the council to settle their accounts. The mayor believes this move could result in millions of dollars being collected, enabling the council to meet its financial obligations, including raising salaries for its workers in accordance with an agreement signed with their union.